Every year archery season comes around and I have a serious passion for hunting big whitetail bucks with a bow. Shot a few with a gun, it just doesn't have the same excitement level. It just don't. And this is the time of year. I mean, we're that pre-rut, in through rut. And I make a hit list of ones that I want, ones that I don't want. For you that don't hunt, that's weird, right? But for us that do, and we're the 1%ers really, because most guys, let's face it, they just go out in the woods and they get in a tree and cross their fingers and they don't get anything. I ain't down with that. I like success. So I do everything I can in the spring, in the summer, in the fall, even in the winter, to make sure the following season I've got a leg up. And you know, and I make that hit list. Usually there's 1, 2, sometimes if I'm lucky there's 3. This year there was 1. I was all in on him. It's a buck I called Gimpy. He had his hoof blown off by the neighbors as a yearling. They literally shoot at everything that moves. We don't. And he survived. What happens is when deer get injured, they come down here, and this is like the hospital for deer. Because they know they ain't gonna get messed with down here. And if you're a hunter, you know. If you know, you know. If you ain't into, just like if you're not into race cars, well, you're not into race cars. This is archery hunting, and this is kind of how my season went in about 8 minutes. Watch to the end. Probably some of you guys are like, hen gals, what's Farmall been doing? He ain't really uploading much. Does this look like deer country? Because it is. And right now I'm looking for a buck. Didn't make the best shot on him. He was kind of quartering too. I normally don't take those shots. There was about 10 minutes of daylight left. Shifted my seat and, you know, called my best friend up and was like, single lung liver is my guess. Really the only way to know is find him and gut him out. But that's what I'm doing. I'm in the jungle looking for a buck. Big buck down, baby. Boom. You get in here and there's corridors. Come down in and it goes, it's like a turkey foot. It goes that way straight and then here. And I just got to the point where I figured work along the creek side and then zig and zag, because we got rain last night. The odds of finding blood in any of this is a miracle to none. It rained pretty much off and on all night. And then through this morning, there's still quite a bit of apples on those trees. I think I counted 17 apple trees in this little like pasture orchard type deal. But it rained off and on last night, earlier than I thought it was going to rain. I didn't think it was going to start raining until about 7 or 8 this morning, but boy was I wrong. Big buck down. I gotta tell you, this shit in here, it's thicker than thieves. I mean, I didn't even bring my bow, but so I looped around and come in through this thick stuff, and when I got right here I could smell him. I was probably 10 feet from him and I said, I smell him. He's got to be here somewhere. I smell him. I mean, really strong. And there he is. What a stud. Well, there he is. Usually I say a buck in a bucket, but it's a lot easier to slide him on this little 4-wheeler trailer. And this is a 4.5-year-old buck I called Gimpy, and knew him since he was a yearling. He come gimping down across the field, and what somebody did was they shot half of his hoof off. So he's lived 3 years after that with half a hoof. And that was taken by a bullet. And, you know, after 3 years, it just heals and mends. But he always walked with a limp. And I'm sure the way this is hooked, putting pressure on that absolutely hurt. And he's not a superstar for 4. But for what we get around here, he's an absolute stud. the age is the trophy. And I ain't saying he won't score. I mean, he's, oh, good grief, maybe mid to upper 20s, probably, because he does carry the mass through and stuff like that. But there you go. That's the one I was after. It's the one I got. We start 2024 season planning and plotting and see who survives for next year. Well, there he is. Really good mass on this side. When a deer gets an injury in the front side, it affects that same side, and when they get an injury in the rear, the nerves run. It goes opposite. So he had his hoof blown off when he was a year and a half. He's 4.5 now, and it's affected him pretty much his whole life. I don't know what he would have been without that, but yeah, it's a big boy around here, man. Probably the nicest buck in the area, I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm happy with him. My second best buck. I hope you enjoyed. I know I sure did. We'll get back to doing farm all stuff. About this time of year, I usually take off. I know a couple of you are like, are you doing hunting videos? They don't do well. This video won't do well. For one thing, it's under 15 minutes, so they won't push it on that end, and it won't get the ad revenue. But that's okay. Some things I upload just for me, believe it or not. I'm not that selfish, but occasionally I can be. But like I say, we'll get back to doing farm all stuff and going and growing. There is a banger of an auction coming up. Hopefully we have nice weather. If not, we'll still be there. We're not fair weather auction goers. Boom. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe.